everybody, it's Kelly from Loch Briar Knits coming to you on a cloudy fall day, sometimes sunny. It actually seems to be rotating between the two today. From the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is episode, I want to say 65. I think I'm right. Welcome to all the new and returning viewers. It's so great to have you come back if you're a returning viewer, and welcome to any of the new viewers who are checking us out for the first time. I hope you'll return. There is a like button and a subscribe button down here, so give the podcast a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That helps us get the word out, and if you want to be notified of when the new episodes or content is up, just hit subscribe and you'll get that popping up in your YouTube feed. Now I think you get it in your email too. I don't know. I think I get mine in my email. Anyway, welcome. This is going to be, there's a lot of content to go through today, but I've got like a limited amount of time. So I'm going to hope that I'm not like rushing through it too much. But I took the day off. It's Friday, October 18th, because I have some vacation days that I still have to use up before the end of the year. So I thought this would be a good one because we're going to the other house for the weekend, and I'm leaving this afternoon. I still haven't figured out how to make that stop blacking out the screen when I'm... I'll get it. I'll get to it eventually. I'll Google it. It's a thing. So, anyway, I've got a lot to cover, and so we're just actually going to jump right in. I have two faux. Two faux. I've got some acquisitions from my trip to Dublin that I just got back from last weekend, and I've got works in progress, and I've got a quick shop update, and also the winner to the impromptu giveaway from last episode. So let's get going on. I'm going to show you the faux first. So if you recall, I was going to take some hat knitting with me onto the plane because I hate to fly. I'm terrified to fly, but I love to travel, so I can't like not get on a plane. So I took a hat with me. It was from, I used the, totally blanking. Wait. There we are. This is the yarn I used, Earth, and it was cashmere? Oh, total cashmere. Actually, it says tonal cashmere, but it was total cashmere. And they plant a tree for every skein you buy, so I really like that. So I can't remember if I mentioned last episode that when I said I was using this, because after I used the skein of their sock yarn for my storm shawl, which I ended up frogging because the yarn was super splitty, I was really nervous about using this again, but the yarn was so crazy soft I couldn't not try it. So I did try it. It wasn't splitty at all. So I don't know if I just got like a bad skein or whatever, but I will definitely use this again. In fact, they have a red one that I really want to use. So that being said, that's what I used. And I used the red mini skein that was left over from my Tammy Gore Hint of Autumn Mystery Knit Along shawl. So check it out. It's my beanie slouchy. It's my slouchy hat. It's my beanie slouchy hat. So at first I was a little concerned that this wasn't going to fit, that because I had I think I only used 128 stitches because I found the 130 36 that I usually use, whatever the multiple of 8 would be. They made it a little too loose, and I was always worried it was going to blow away in the wind. So I have a small head. So anyway, I went down to 128, but as I was knitting, it looked like it was like that only had that much room, but I thought it's stretchy. And you know what? It was perfect. It's like the perfect size. I probably could have even gone down to 120. But so here's what it looks like. Okay, now that I've totally messed my hair. There. Okay. So what I did was I started off with a little bit of red on the brim, and then I did 4 rows of red here. I did 3 rows of red here because I was a little worried I was going to run out of the red, so I was staggering it. 2 rows here, and then I put a little dollop on the end. So I'm going to bring this up here so you can kind of see the variations. I have one end left here to kind of weave in. But here's the thing. So I went to weave in the ends this morning, and I realized like I don't have a needle that's going to fit through. So I literally just kind of like, I don't know if you probably can't see what I'm doing here, but like I just kind of pulled out the thing a bit and then wove it through like that. And that's literally, so I haven't blocked this yet. I probably will. And then there's I'll block it. I don't know, maybe I won't. It really doesn't even need blocking. It doesn't feel like it does. But I've got like little ends here. I usually leave a little bit sticking out because things usually kind of stretch out a bit after you block them. So that sort of leaves a little leeway so that it's not like kind of popping back out on this side. And then if there's any sticking out too much, I'll just snip them off. 1 hour while talking to my husband sitting on the couch. One Christmas present down. All right, so that is my 2 faux. So let's move along on to whips. So actually, what I'm wearing is my super simple summer sweater from Hohi Locatelli. Here's the thing. So I took this with me to Dublin, and I'm going to stand up, I think. So my hip bone is right here. And this, actually, let's see it, fold this up, goes right to there, but normally is kind of around where I like it. Maybe just like a little below that. But I noticed as I'm wearing this, like, you kind of move and all that, and it's kind of coming up above my hip bone. So I found I kept pulling, I was constantly like pulling it down, which tells me that it's not long enough. I'm not comfortable with the length. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stand back up again. I'm going to take the sweater out up to like about here. So I'm going to put a lifeline in, but I was not quite sure the best way to do that. So I mentioned it to Mimi at the Loop, and she told me the best way to put the lifeline in to make sure I was picking up the stitches. And I don't know if I can show you this because I've got to, I think, turn it upside down. Yeah, you're really not going to be able to see this. But I have to turn it upside down so that, I don't know if I can explain this very well. In my head, it makes perfect sense. But, all right, so you can see the V's here. but they're like upside down V's. So these are not the V's I want. She said the best thing to do is to like rotate to rotate your sweater so that you've got like the top up, or sorry, the bottom up here. So you're kind of holding your sweater upside down. And then you'll be able, the V's that are then kind of, the V's that are then going this way are the ones that you have to use. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting the stitches. You're going to be kind of, I think, going in between the stitches, or you're going to grab the leg of one, like not, and then the leg of another. I don't know if that's making sense. So then when I'm holding them like this, I have to kind of go through the V and then around this one and then up through so I'm going to be kind of going like this, and that should grab the stitch properly. So then I just have to I'll have to like cut probably the edge here. Oops. Cut the edge and then start to unravel the yarn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like another stripe in. So it will go, I'll have like another one of these stripes on the bottom, which if you'll notice, this stripe here is, I think, the proper size, or maybe it's one short. I can't remember, because this and this are different lengths. So I think I went around a couple of times more on one, but I can't remember, or a couple of times less on the other. I'm not sure which it is. So anyway, so I'm going to do that. That's going to be my project. I might tackle that. I'm trying to think what I have going on next weekend. I may try to tackle that next weekend. So, and then I'll just, because it'll be a really quick, like this was a quick knit. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal just to add the extra, like re-knit the stripe I have and then add the extra gray stripe at the bottom. I'm not going to add any length to the arms, just because I would like the arms to be a little longer. So when I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm doing the next one I'm doing. Because here's the thing I've noticed. Of all the sweaters I've knit, and I'm kind of new to the sweater knitting game. I've probably only been doing it for maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But I've only knit, my first one was the Puntilla by Joji Locatelli. My second one was the Tanya sweater, which didn't turn out well and was gifted to my niece because I couldn't get my arms, literally could not get my arms through the armholes at all. And if you have watched previous episodes and saw that when I tried to get it on, if you want a good laugh, check that episode out. Then I knit the Weekender, which I love. I love that sweater, but I still feel it's a little too boxy on me and a little longer than what I want. And then I knit the Rachel by You and I Knits, and the issue I have with that one, and by the way, none of these are a pattern issue. It's like newbie sweater knitter issue. The patterns are fantastic. If I were to do the Rachel again, I think I would use maybe a more structured yarn. I used the, oh my god, what was it now? It was a Barocco one, I think. it's in my previous episodes. It's also on my, I got fiber in my eyeball. It's in my Ravelry page on my projects. And again, I didn't knit the arms long enough, like for what I like. Like right now, well, here, let me just tuck my... So right now, it kind of comes just sort of below what I like to call my wrist knuckles. I like my sweaters to come to here. So you can tell I was way off on that one. And the same thing with the Rachel sweater. So if I were to do that one again, and I love the sweater, I love the sweater as she did it. I don't love the sweater as I did it. I like it, I'll wear it, but I'm not like, oh, I love that sweater, I look fabulous in it. So, and I find that that's the same issue I've had with all of the sweaters I've knit. I like them, but I haven't found the correct fit for me yet. And not because of the pattern, but I think it's either my yarn choice or I do it a little too long or a little too short. So I'm still trying to figure out, I guess, my best sweater shape and then marry the correct yarn to the sweater. So this one I think is the closest I've come so far. And once I change the length on the bottom, this is probably going to be close to a perfect sweater for me. I love the yarn that I chose. I think it fits the structure of the sweater great. I'm okay where these ones are, where the arms aren't as long as I like them. Like, you can kind of see this is where I would normally like them. But I can wear a shirt under that and fix that. That's not a big deal. But yeah, so I think going forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to swatch and be a little more diligent about that, because that's going to give me an idea of what the fabric the sweater is going to be made out of is going to be like. Which will tell me, I think, whether or not I've chosen the right yarn for the project. Like, how much does the yarn have too much drape for how I want the sweater structured, or does it not have enough, or is the gauge a little too loose? Like, that was the other thing. I like to stop in the middle of my sentences and drink tea. Sorry. The thing about the Rachel sweater is I feel that the gauge is a little too loose, and the drape which makes the drape a little too loose. I also think I could have made that sweater just maybe like an inch and a half longer. So I think what I'm going to do kind of for 2020, how did it get to be 2020 almost, is really concentrate on perfecting my sweater technique, perfecting kind of the yarn choices that I make, figuring out like swatching so I can get a sense of like how much it's going to stretch out when I block it, that kind of stuff. I really gotta swatch because, you know, you're putting all this effort into doing the sweater, and because you're too lazy to do like a little swatch, you're ending up with kind of an imperfect final product, which seems kind of stupid after all the effort you put into making it. So that's my sweater spiel. Anyway, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this back up to like where it splits, and then knit down and put an extra stripe in it. So that's that. And then also on the needles is my second, super simple summer sweater. Which is being knit out of the same yarn, just different colors. So this one is being made out of the Grubby Pink, which is the Rosedale, and the Gritstone, which is the pale gray. So we're going like this time around. And I really like the gauge of this one, but I did want to give it a bit more drape and also maybe just a slightly kind of looser fit. So, but I was looking at the medium because this is the small, and I think the medium might be a bit too big. So I thought rather than that, I'm just going to go up a needle size. So originally I went up 2 needle sizes, and then I made a mistake, which ended up being good because the drape was too loose. So I went down a needle size. So it's just basically 1 needle size up from what they ask for. And I think this is going to be perfect. So this is what I've got done so far. I'm not like, I haven't put a whole lot of time into this over the last 3-4 weeks. I'm trying to unroll it. So I've just really kind of got this part here done. I'm ready. I think I'm ready to, I'm ready to kind of switch to the light gray. So I really like these colors are going to be kind of muted, where I find these ones are sort of a deeper color. So it's going to be nice to have the option. I'm not normally a pink person, but this has got like tones of gray going through it, which gives it that kind of grubby pink look. As far as pinks go, this is kind of more my jam than like a bright pink or a pink. You know what I'm saying? Not a pink girl. So that's on the needles, and I'm going to take that with me to the other house and work on that this weekend, along with Christmas presents. So I've been working on, if I can pull this out without pulling the needles out, there we go. This is for my nephew who loves oranges and reds. So this is going to be his Christmas sock. So that's pretty much a perfect representation. So this is lichen and lace in their burnt lobster colorway. And it's got all these like great pops of color going through it. So it's got the red. He's like me. He loves orange. It's got these sort of eggplant purple, I would say. I don't know if that, like right here. It's got some gold going through it. So I think he's going to really like these. This is the worsted weight. And these are knitting up so fast. I have not made a pair of worsted weight socks in so long. I can't remember. And this stuff, I am just like, I really need to make all my socks out of worsted weight. Because this is just flying, which is good because I have a lot of socks to make. So I can take this with me as well. And so that's the cake. It's a semi-messy cake because I keep pulling it in and out of the bag there. But I love these colors. Lichen and Lace, she does fantastic yarns. I've got a lot of her stuff. So that's coming with me. I would love to have both of those socks done by next podcast. Technically, I'm going to have them both done by the next podcast if I have any hope of getting the socks all done before Christmas. So, this is what I have left from the hat. So it's probably about a third of the skein left, really. And then a little itty bitty bit. But I bet I could get like a small like skull cap out of that. I might be able to. I don't know. Anyway, you'll see. I'm going to put that over in my leftover. The amount of leftover yarn I have is insane. I'm going to start making, I think, some stripy beanie hats out of that. The other one, and I think I showed you that I finished this either last episode or the episode before that. It looks so small. I have like stupid small feet. So this was Evie Knits, and this is her Elegant Christmas colorway. So these are for me. So they're on a bit of hiatus right now just because I've got to get everybody else's socks done. I think I've actually only knit myself one pair of socks this year, which was the purple self-striping ones I did. Which is kind of pathetic because my other socks are some of my other socks are starting to get a little worn looking, and I really do kind of need to start thinking about putting some more in the rotation, but this is all I've got started on the second sock. So I'm not taking these with me to the other house because I'll end up, I'm such a selfish knitter, I'll end up working on them and not the other socks. But I really have to get the Christmas socks done. So those are staying home. And that, I think, is all my works in progress. I haven't got a shawl on the needles right now. I did purchase Tammy Gore's new shawl pattern, Relentless. It's got brioche in it. Oh my god, the pattern is stunning. But it does have brioche in it, and I really need to learn brioche. But I may wait and do that in the new year, just because I've got so much else that I need to get done. So, right. So I don't think that's going to be it. Or that's not going to be, yeah. I still have my storm shawl to redo, and I have the yarn picked out for that. And I've got sweaters, and so I may do the storm shawl first, because that's going to be a quick knit. And I may end up gifting that, but I may not. What do you do to my hair? Good Lord. Okay, anyway. Get your shit together, Kelly. What else? Okay, I think that's everything on the needles. So, we had the impromptu giveaway. Yeah! So, that was, stupidly, well, not stupidly, because it was easier to have you guys put your things down below. But I didn't, I thought I should have done it in Ravelry in hindsight, because they number all of the posts, and then you can just do the random number generator. So instead I wrote everybody's name out on a piece of paper and drew it out of a hat before the thing started. So first off, let me show you the prize. So the prize is going to be, a skein of falling leaves. So this is falling leaves. This is on my BFL Twisted Sister base. I love, this is probably one of my favorite colorways, and I have to do some more of this up for the shop. So that's the skein that's going for the giveaway, and I'm sure there'll be a few other little goodies put in there as well. So the winner of that is, drumroll please. Oops, where am I here? Okay. So it's Kay Craig, and here's my scribble. So she was making, actually, if I'm remembering correctly, she's doing some socks and stuff right now, but she has Sea Change by Jennifer Steingass and or the R&R hoodie by Tennis LaValle that she's got the yarn to knit up. So it's really professional, isn't it? So, okay, Craig, give me shoot me a message either on, you can DM me on Ravelry, Instagram, or you can, I think you can send me an email through YouTube. But I'm Kelly L. Boyce on Instagram, and Loch Briar or Loch Briar Knits on Ravelry. Oh my God, my brain's starting to shut down. And then I will get your prize off to you. So thanks to everybody. We had lots of people doing Hohi Locatelli sweaters. Andrea Mowry was another popular one. Jennifer Steingast showed up a few times there. There was some Tin Can Knits showing up. What were some of the other ones? There were a few that I hadn't heard of, like the R&R hoodie. I'm going to have to check that out because that just sounds comfy. And oh God, what were some of the other ones? But if you look below, there's some lots of ideas for sweaters. So, okay, Craig, get in touch with me and let me know where you want your skein and goodies sent to you, and we'll get that out in the mail ASAP. Let's get into some purchases I made in Dublin. So I went to two shops. One was literally about a 2-minute walk from our hotel. Okay, not 2 minutes. It was probably about a 5-minute walk from our hotel. Our hotel was in the best location. It was literally, well, 5 minutes from the yarn shop. It was right across the street from Christ Church, which was this huge church, and the Viking museum was right next to that, which I'm a huge history buff. I write historical fiction, so I was just like, I was in my glory. And then the Dublin Castle was maybe like a 5-minute walk away. And then the other yarn shop was maybe a 15-minute walk away. So the first yarn shop I went to was the Constant Knitter, which if you're ever in Dublin, go. It was a fabulous shop. They were really helpful, really nice. So I walked in the first time and they had Brooklyn tweed along the wall. They had Shelter, they had Arbor. I think they had Loft as well, down a little further. So I was going back and forth. Do I want Shelter? Do I want Arbor? And I couldn't decide. So I finally thought, okay, I need a sport weight yarn. I'm going to get the Arbor. So I got the Arbor. And I got a sweater's quantity. Look at that color, people. This is the Heron colorway. Like, this is just such a beautiful, beautiful gray. And this is... So it's a DK weight, sorry. 140 yards, and it is sourced in Montana and South Dakota, spun in Springvale, Maine, and dyed in Saco, Maine. So, sweater's quantity, Brooklyn Tweed Arbor, Heron colorway. And then I went to the other knit shop, which is called This Is Knit, and I perused their wares. And they have this yarn that I've actually never seen or heard of before. But it's called Stolen Stitches by Carol Feller. It's the Nua, not colorway, line, I guess. And I couldn't decide which color to get. These were the sport weight, sorry. And it's 60% merino wool, 20% yak, 20% linen. It is so soft. So I got one of each. This is baling hay. Rolling bales. rolling bales. This one is, I love the names too, by the way. This one is August Storms. And this one is Broken Tiles. So the colors in these are so rich. Like, look at that. That is just, and soft like you would not believe. So my plan is, there's a part of me thinking you really should have gotten a sweaters quantity of all of these. But I only had a carry-on and a small backpack, so I couldn't. Also I couldn't afford it. So I did get one of each. I think what I'm going to do is make 2, maybe 3 hats. And I'm going to kind of do like, one will be, this will be the main color, and then stripe it with this, and then this will be main color striped with this, and then this will be main color striped with these. That's the plan. So I might have enough for 3. We'll see. And then what I was doing, I found I was hoarding my spending money because I forget how much I took with me. I think I took about 500 euros with me, knowing some of that was going to go for food and sundry items, and the rest was all going to go for yarn. I was hoarding my euros. So, because in my head I thought, if I've got enough left over, I'm going back to the Constant Knitter and getting a sweaters quantity of Brooklyn in Shelter, Brooklyn Tweed and Shelter. So I did. So I got a sweaters quantity of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the soot colorway. And this is going to be a weekender. I'm going to do a second weekender. I'm going to swatch. Radical idea. But yeah, I am definitely, oh, I love this. And the arbor, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to make this out of. I think I may make actually I've got a couple ideas, but I think this is going to be an Isabel Kramer sweater. So those were my purchases in Dublin. I also bought a t-shirt. So I bought a $10 t-shirt. And that was it, I think. And then I came home and thinking of my plan to kind of learn how to better structure my sweaters, etc. So I ordered this book, which is Ann Budd, Top-Down Sweaters, and there. I just got this off of Amazon, and I like, it's coiled, so it lays flat. So if I'm kind of trying to do stuff, it's squeaky too. There's actually also, I think, patterns in here too, now that I'm looking at it. I just arrived this morning. So, The Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters, Basic Designs in Multiple Sizes and Gauges. So, it kind of gives you the know-how, I guess, on how to learn how to do different types of sweaters, how to structure them, how to, the gauges, all that stuff. Which I think, especially where I'm kind of a newbie sweater knitter, or I consider myself still a newbie sweater knitter because I don't have the whole thing down yet, that this is, I think, going to come in really handy. But I would also like eventually to try my hand at doing my own patterns. I don't know if I'll do my own patterns to sell, or if it's just going to be like, I think I'd really like a sweater that looks like this and then just kind of go crazy. Stay tuned. So that was everything, I think. I think we did get through everything. So, what else? So the only thing left is to life stuff and just a quick shop update. So if that's not your bag, thanks so much for checking us out, and hope you'll come back for the next episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I think they're over here. So I didn't grab all of the bases. Most of these are on multiple bases. Some of these are only on one base. So really quickly, I'll show you the ones only on one base. These are the Silky Singles base. So this here is Mauve Along. And this one is in the navy. And where'd the other one go? This one is Marigold, which, there we go. It's a little more gold than what it's showing on here, but if you go on my Etsy shop, which I'll just kind of link below there, you can kind of get a really good sense of the color. So these are on a Silky Single base. There's four of these, and 2 of these. And that's Silky Singles. So, also on my Instagram, I posted the pictures of everything here. So, the other ones are, and I kind of already have the ball bands on these ones, but so these are on my MCN twist base, and there's 4 of each of them. So this is Rosemary, and this is Smoke and Mirrors. So those are in the shop. These are beautiful. They're like an MCN with a high twist. So you've got like the softness of the cashmere, and the twist is going to give it great stitch definition. So there's those in the shop. And then this was just a one of. This is Sunflower, and that's in my classic sock base, which is the 7525. Then the rest of these are on my usual 3 bases, which is the Gush MCN, the Twisted Sister BFL, and the classic sock. So this is one of the Halloween colorways. The green again is getting washed out a little. But this is Goblin. And then this one, which I already put the ball band on again, is Rotten Pumpkin. And this colorway I absolutely love. It's such a great fall color. So that's Rotten Pumpkin. This is September Morn. Stretch that out. And this is September Morn 2019. So each year it's the same colors, but the look of it may be a little different. So that's September Morn. This is Pandora's Box, which I love. Love this one. So that's got like all these cool colors going through it and jewel tones. And then there's only 2 of these ones in the shop. This is Muddy Banks. So it's in an MCN and the BFL because I kept the classic sock version for myself, because this was sort of an accidental one, and I kept one for myself because I want to try to duplicate it because I really love how it turned out. It's like this great sort of dusky eggplant and then almost like a khaki green. So those are all in the shop. There's also a lot of other colorways in there. I'm also doing a fall clearance. So there's quite a few skeins that are on for like $20. So it's a good time to fill your boots. I have lowered the Canadian shipping cost to $8. So if you're in Canada, the shipping will be $8, and then I think it's just $1 for every extra skein. Free shipping in Canada if your purchase is over $100. So that's the shop update. And then life stuff. So we went to Dublin. We had a fantastic time. I was expecting rain. Nope. Sunny every day. Sunny every day. There were 2 days where we got maybe like a 10-minute sprinkle, which I wouldn't have even classified as rain. And it would last literally like 10 minutes. Speaking of the weather, it's sunny out again. So, and the temperatures were pretty mild. It was like maybe like 15, 16 degrees Celsius each day. So it was comfortable for walking around in. We walked everywhere. We went to the Guinness Brewery, which was fantastic. We got to see the Book of Kells exhibit at Trinity College, which, by the way, if you're going to go to college, go to Trinity College. It's beautiful there. It was amazing. We went to the Viking Museum. We went to Dublin Castle. We went to the Natural History Museum? Yeah, Natural History Museum. We went down like in the shopping district. We went down in the Temple Bar section. We went to Christ Church, which was across the street. So we left Sunday night, so we arrived Monday morning. And we got an early check-in, so we got right into our thing, and we had enough time to come down to get breakfast, because of the time change. Which was good because we were starving. They fed us no food on the plane. You're on the plane for like 5 to 6 hours. We didn't even get a snack. If you wanted food, you had to buy it. And it was like, seriously, do I want to spend $12 on a sandwich on airplane food? Come on. Like, so at first I thought, well, I think it was just because it was an overnight flight that they don't give you food, because I figure, oh, you're sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep. I can't sleep on a plane because I hate to fly. So anyway, then on our way back, our flight was left at around, I think it was 10 o'clock Dublin time, and got in around just before noon Atlantic time. And we got two little bags of pretzels, because that's going to hold me over for 6 hours. So we were so hungry when we got off the plane. But we arrived early on the Monday morning, and we left early on the Saturday morning. We had to leave early. So we had part of the day, or most of the day Monday. So we had like about 4.5 days of sightseeing to do. And we got everything on our list that we wanted to do. So that was fantastic. We only took carry-on luggage. I was able to fit my yarn into my carry-on and my backpack, and I put a little bit of my husband's carry-on. Anyways, that was about it. This weekend I've got today off. I've got a bunch of errands I have to run, and then I'm scooting out to the schooner house for the weekend. And I'm probably going to get this edited while I'm there and then upload it on the Sunday when I get back, because the internet connection here is faster than at the other house. And I'm going to get some knitting done, and that's really like about it. So I'm going to let you guys go because I'm at an hour. And thanks everybody for showing up. Kay Craig, don't forget to get a hold of me and let me know where to ship your skein to. And we are getting very close to 500 subscribers. So I'm going to be kind of thinking up a good giveaway celebration for that, because that's awesome. Like, honestly, when I started, I thought, I don't even know if 5 people are going to show up. And then 7 showed up, and I was like, what? And then it was like 25, and I was like, what? So we're at, I think when I checked on here, it was 445 or 445, 455, I forget, something like that. Around 450. Anyway, so I was really excited. That's awesome. So thank you guys so much for continuing to subscribe and check out the podcast. I am thinking about doing Vlogmas, but I think what I'm going to do is do a weekly vlog on Vlogmas, or maybe like a weekly podcast. We'll see. Rather than try to do it every day, because honestly, my days are pretty much the same and it gets really boring. So it won't be an everyday kind of thing. It may be a weekly or like a bi-weekly thing. I don't know. So anyway, bi-weekly, is that like twice a week? Or is that every second week? No, that'd be bi-monthly. I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for showing up. I will see you guys again soon. And until then, happy knitting. See ya.